Hi, I wanted to do a little video to show what I did with all the scraps left over from the junk journaling workshop that I did at Shepherdsdean on the 30th of August. Everything in this was from the scraps. I gave everyone one of these punnets, a plastic container, to put all their little bits in on their desk, and I gathered them all up at the end of the day. And when I got round to doing it, I filled this basket with them all and sorted through them and filled this journal that was one that I made as part of the demonstration and the teaching. So I'm going to take you through the journal and let's see where we get. So the front cover, as you can see, there's a stamp on the front, and inside that, I think I've put a first class day, or yes, a first class day, which it was. It was a first class day, and the tie is from a gift bag that someone had brought to use. And let's look what's inside. The first doubles page, as you can see, I've used the leftover flyers on the left hand side and just sort of collaged them, and the word welcome was there as part of the scraps, so I thought, well, that's good for the first page. And I like this next page. I could have coloured in those things, whoops, well, I can't point, that's what's on the screen. I could have coloured in the outline flowers there, but I decided to leave them blank, and I just thought that piece of string cord was the right colour. You probably can't see it very well on the film, which is a shame. So over the page, and this one, there was an awful lot of the tissue left over with birds on it, and then there was a fabric scrap that I stuck on. And be creative with acrylics, I've added the words and other stuff. And we did have fun with acrylic paints, and it was just this morning that I added to this page using the end of a toilet roll in some leftover paint that was in my palette, which seemed appropriate. And yes, we had fun with acrylics. This was the page I did as a demonstration of how to put various different images down on the page and then make them sort of link together. We used gesso and then acrylic paint, and I sort of dashed around the room showing everyone my book, saying, yeah, you do this and you do that, and oh dear, it was a bit manic. And everyone had chose what colour paint. They had a couple of blobs of either two paints or one, depending on the colours that they'd got on the images that they'd chosen. And the word "this" is here on this one because that was showing through from the paper underneath. I think it said this week, but week has got a bit of tissue covering over it, a piece of fabric, and yeah. And since the workshop, I've circled round and added some emphasis and used a pen, which we didn't have time for. And I've written on the page, this was a demonstration of how to do a page using collage and paint. I didn't include how to emphasise or write on it. I've added it later, and I'm not convinced I'm very good at it, but I've had a go, and that's what's important, is that you have a go. And on the top right, there's a bee with some little flowers, bottom, and I put busy bees gathering pollen, ideas and techniques to try. And I hope that the busy bees on that day did take home some techniques to try. And continuing on that theme of bees, one of the tasks was to use stencils over a page just as a background. So this is actually the final layer of this page of bits and pieces. Again, more butterfly tissue. There was an awful lot of that left, and I can see some music showing through as well, which is always nice. So I've got a page of busy bees. It's rather dark. It looks as if it needs something else on it, but I'm not sure what, so we'll leave it as it is. And actually, I think I've finished this book now anyway. Over the page, more tissue paper from the butterflies. An awful lot of those just went in were destined for the bin. Oh, I couldn't allow that. And on the right hand side of this page are strips from the edges of the scrapbooking paper that people had used on one of the journals that we made, and together they create quite a good page. Now this one, I added the red stencil this morning, again using up some of the paint that was left on my palette from some art I've been doing. So you perhaps can't see the words that have been were left over on bits of magazine. I've got some owl eyes at the top, and then explore, play, connect, choice, fill some journal pages. That's from the flyer at the top that you can see. No, that's the wrong one. Oh, I'm not very good at that. That on the flyer, it had fill some journal pages, and I just added the words "we did." So that's again one that doesn't quite look finished. It's a bit bright and in your face, but anyway, it is as it is. Oh, and printed on the yellow card that someone had used is the word greetings, and I've left that showing because we did greet each other. Now this is the first of the feedback forms. I received the scanned feedback forms from the retreat house and reproduced them and cut them out. And this is the answer to: did you find the programme easy to engage with? If so, what stood out for you? And yes, the whole creative experience. Yes, inspiration for being creative. Yes, easy to engage with. The programme was great, loved being creative. Very easy. Lizzie's manner was so relaxed and encouraging. Thank you. Yes, very easy. Yes, clear instructions. A great presentation of making and much help. I can't really read this because I've shrunk it a bit, but it was very encouraging when I managed to read it first time round. Yes, easy to ask questions in most aspects. Yes, we were given lots of ideas and help. So that's their views. And again, the word views was on a scrap of paper that was destined for the bin. So I thought that needs to go on that page. And here we have the centerfold page of 11 lovely ladies, and I used gold acrylic paint for the background for this page, and I chose gold because they're golden obviously, but because we had beige coloured tables that the work is on, so I thought, well, that would blend in well, and I went round each of them with a black felt pen just to add some emphasis, otherwise they sort of disappeared into the page a bit. And I've got some gold coloured thread that was left over that I've made a bow and just put on. And I wrote on it this morning: 11 lovely ladies, thank you for trusting me and for being so willing to try new things, and for all your scraps that are in this journal. And I gave to you, and you engaged well, and in turn have given much to me. And I don't just mean the scraps, so thank you. And here we've got another double page of more feedback, and this is the question: overall, how did you find the retreat day? Was it beneficial? If yes, in what way? Yes, great, mindful, relaxing day, lovely staff, food, surroundings. Yes, learned how to journal. Yes, it was very enjoyable and inspiring. I found it very mindful and interesting and delighted. I've learnt a new skill. Informative, many ideas presented, and simple and ample opportunity to put them into practice. Excellent, a really interesting and engaging day. Love that it took me right away from thinking about any cares and worries. Well, that's good. Well, this one's a bit out of focus. A lot of techniques and information was covered very generously, and I really enjoyed the day. It was very relaxing and I loved the creativity. The house, food, etc. was great as usual, so that's obviously someone that's been there before. Very interesting, learnt a lot of new skills. Loved it, discovering new art techniques for adding to journals and constructing journal ideas. Yes, lovely day, lots learned. So that's great, lovely feedback. Now this page was on a green card on the right hand side, so that sort of said what I'd put on it, as it were. And there were some pictures of buildings in the stash of stuff left over, so they went on, along with some more butterflies. And this morning I added some of the not string, embroidery thread that we used for binding some of the journals. And I noticed that you can perhaps see there AIP showing, because we had some papers from the flip chart, old flip chart paper, to put on the tables, and that got excess paint etc on it to save the table, and I gathered all of those up, so I've got some more for use at home, and I tore out some of the nice bits to use in this collaging as well. And so I thought it would be fun to extend A, I and P around the page with the cord, with the embroidery thread, and I wrote on it, I gave an invitation to play AIP with paint and paper. We came from a variety of backgrounds, geographically and creatively. So that's that page. And over the page we've got We Were Very Busy Bees, because Busy Bees was one of the little bits of paper, and a picture of a bee on some looks like lavender, and that image on the middle of the left hand page. We did some mark making with bits of corrugated card, and I've stuck some of those that have got the paint stuck on them, left on them, as part of my collage with this page, and some more tissue left over. I love the stuff on the right hand side, that's what someone else had brought. And this morning I wrote on it, We Were Very Busy Bees. I tried to fit too much into the day. The afternoon was too rushed. Next time I will do less and leave more space. I have learnt that it takes far longer for a group to do a task than I anticipated, and I knew that it would take longer, but it took longer than I thought it would. But as you've heard from that feedback, people were happy with the amount of content, although one person had said that they would have appreciated a bit more space, but we'll come to that later. And again, some music showing through the tissue there. And yes, the feedback made my heart sing. And some more embroidery thread spread over this page that I've got tissue on, and bits of fabric and some gesso to try and draw it all together. And as I stuck the thread down, it started separating, and I thought, oh, that's a nice thing to do. So I spent some time this morning encouraging that separating of the threads. So I quite like that, and I think I've got a new technique for myself. The next double page was scraps from a magazine of woodland views, and so I felt they sort of went together along with some of the wallpaper on the bottom left. That's wallpaper that I'd taken along, that I'd printed on, that I offered to the group that they might want to use to cover their little journals that they made. So there you can see I quite enjoyed making that double page spread. And this one has got more bits of the flyer that were left over, and some of, in the middle, there are some of the bits of paper from underneath that people lent on to do their painting, and that one had got bits of pink, so I thought that goes with the border. And more butterflies, and in the middle is some card. It's from this journaling paper that someone had used, so it's quite thick actually, it's like thin card, double-sided, and so I've still got a few scraps of that left, and so I split a flower between two pages. nearly there and more views. We are constantly looking at ways to improve what we offer here, and to help us we would like you to give an opportunity to put down any thoughts and suggestions. Enjoy crafting days, more crafts, any creative and or artistic workshops. I used to attend silent retreat days, which I would do again. More arts and crafts. And the next question, what kind of retreats would you like to see on the programme and why? More on creative art journaling, poetry days, sharing and reading and reflecting, possible art related / journal related creative writing. So that's food for thought. And the next question, do you have any thoughts or suggestions regarding the prayer and reflection days? Oh dear, I would have appreciated short moments to stop and in order to listen to and think about it. And again, I've taken that on board. It was a little rushed, particularly in the afternoon. How satisfied were you with the service and delivery of the day? And they had to circle their response from 1 unsatisfactory, 2 poor, 3 reasonable, I got 1 reasonable, 4 good, I got 1 good, or 5 excellent, and I got 9 excellents. So that's good. All staff very pleasant and engaging, so that's good. Had a great day, covered a lot of ground, a bit hurried in places, but we got through a lot. So yeah, I've taken on board the hurriedness and the space. So next time I do one of these, I have decided I will leave a bit more space, not try and cover so many techniques and things. And that word perfect at the bottom right was off a piece of magazine, and it just about got perfect, you thought, and I added practically at the top because I was reminded of Mary Poppins, practically perfect in every way. And I think that this retreat day, journaling day workshop was practically perfect. Not perfect, but everyone enjoyed it. And so the back cover is, you can see the grey stripes because it was an envelope. This journal was made, the covers from 2 envelopes that you might get bills in or junk mail. And so I wanted those grey bits to continue showing through. The envelope bit, the see-through bit, the address panel bit, there I've put a piece of card inside showing through, and the other grey card squares and the rectangle with the flowers at the top are stuck on. Again, that was left over from someone, and I think I've still got a folded square bit for my stash, so thank you whichever lady left that, and washi tape round the edge, which I took. So overall, I'm very pleased with my journal, which is a lovely reminder of the workshop for myself. I enjoyed the day and sharing everything, and I enjoyed working through the journaling and the art journaling mainly in this journal, and reflecting and using up the scraps and just having a little bit of art most days since the 30th of August. So I think I'll leave it at that, and thank you for watching this video this far, and I hope to see some of you on another journaling art type day that I might do. And any days that I do at Shepherd's Dean will have some elements of creative journaling or an art-based activity available for those who want to do it, even on the days that aren't specifically creative. So bye for now, and see you soon, I hope.